Hey everybody, Zach Wolf here with another great Top 5 Tuesday. This week on Top 5 Tuesday, it's the top 5 common mistakes people make, people meaning lawyers, in temporary injunction hearings. This is fresh on my mind because I just came from a temporary injunction hearing this morning. So these are some common mistakes I've observed. Number 5 is having too long a list of confidential information you're trying to restrict. This one is really particular to one type of case, which is a departing employee case or some other case where a company's confidential information is at issue. And what you often see is that the lawyer who drafts the proposed temporary injunction will put this long list of things in it that they want the court to order protected. Usually they get that long list out of some contract that has some lengthy definition of what is part of the company's confidential information. That tends to not be effective because the judge is probably going to see that and think, wait a minute, are you telling me that all of these things are really your company's confidential information? So right off the bat, the judge is likely to be skeptical. The number 4 common mistake in temporary injunction hearings is kind of related to number 5. And this is really more of a style point, but for some reason, lawyers really like to have these long paragraphs that take up half a page or more, rather than having some kind of bulleted list that's easier to read. That's a common mistake. Don't do that. Now, is it really a substantive mistake? No, but anything that makes it harder for the judge to quickly grasp what you're asking for is likely to cause you to lose your momentum, and you don't want that. Speaking of losing momentum, that brings me to the number 3 common mistake, and that is not coming to the courtroom with enough copies of your documents so that you can give everybody a copy. You want to be able to give the judge a copy, give opposing counsel a copy. If it's an exhibit, you want to have the witness to have a copy. And when you don't have enough copies of documents, it's maybe not that big a deal, but it does tend to slow you down. And that's the last thing you want in a temporary injunction hearing. The number 2 common mistake lawyers make in temporary injunction hearings is not anticipating the opposing party's arguments. That sounds pretty obvious, but yet you see this happen quite often. Don't assume that the other side is just going to sit there and agree with what you've asserted. You need to anticipate what arguments they are going to make and be prepared to respond to those arguments either with evidence or with case law, or both, ideally. All right, that brings me to the number 1 common mistake lawyers make in temporary injunction hearings, and that is failing to adequately prepare your witnesses for the hearing. That sounds pretty fundamental, because it is, but still you find that in a lot of cases lawyers don't adequately have their witnesses prepared. You want to go over with the witnesses what you're going to ask them. You want to hear them answer. Practice their testimony if you need to. Get those jitters out. That's also a good way for you to learn the facts. So you've got to have your witnesses prepared. Don't make the common mistake of coming to a temporary injunction hearing without your witnesses prepared. All right, those are my top 5 common mistakes lawyers make in temporary injunction hearings. If you like this video, please hit the like button or leave me a comment or share this video. If you've got other ideas on common mistakes lawyers make in temporary injunction hearings, I'd love to hear from you. And hey, thanks for watching.